easy monthly payments. And what are we talking about? Watch this. If this doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will. But as I turn these around, look at what you are getting today as our today's special value. This absolutely tender, juicy, flavorful center cut sirloin steaks. Not just any sirloin steaks, but Black Angus, Reserve, and center cut. I mean, it is the best of the best when it comes to sirloin steaks. And then even better than that, how about the most recommended brand here at QVC, the #1 selling food brand, and of course the best grilling steaks, and it's all about Rastelli's. Yeah, here's what our option is. You can get 10 or 20 steaks. Take a look at them right here. You can get the 10 or you can get the 20. Now, if you buy the 20, you automatically save $29 because 89 plus 89 would be upwards of about $180, and we're doubling it without doubling the price, so you save $29. The other thing you need to decide is, do you want them shipped out right away? I do. Or February 15th. And so here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want this as part of your Valentine's Day dinner, you need to have it shipped out right away. If that's not a concern, then you could have it shipped out February 15th if you want. And the other thing to decide is, do you want this to actually be just a one-time shipment, or do you want to put it on auto delivery? And auto delivery means it would ship out right away or whatever date you choose, and then every 90 days for the next 2 years. But don't forget, you're not stuck with something you don't want. You can cancel that auto delivery at any point. And a lot of you are just wanting them now, and I don't blame you. Okay, so here's the thing. We have already sold, how many are we up to at this point? Close to 9,000 of these already ordered. This is a steak that has no bone, all meat. You are going to eat every bit. There's nothing left for the dog at all, and it's all for you. And we're going to talk to Ray Rastelli about it. He is America's Butcher, 5 years on QVC. This is their 5th anniversary. They went all out. Not only had they brought sirloin steaks to us 5 years ago, but now they have upped the ante to give us the Reserve collection with the center cut. And Ray Rastelli, congratulations.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Can you believe it? 5 years and over 4 million sirloin steaks later, we're still here and we're bringing you something really special today. And oh my goodness, look at that old picture.
See, you haven't aged a day, Ray. I'm telling you, you haven't. But of course, Rick has, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, no, I'm teasing. Hey, Ray, we've got to go back to the meat. I'm a Midwest girl. I'm a meat girl.
Yes.
I grew up in farm country. My husband grew up on a farm. This is some of the absolute best beef you are going to find anywhere in the country. Why is that?
It's really simple. This is our Reserve collection, which means we only have a very limited amount. Only 4% of all the cattle that we bring in actually qualify for this, which means it's got to have a certain degree of marbling. It's got to have a certain degree of texture, tenderness, and color. So very, very few sirloins make it, but this is one that did make it. And I want to show you what this looks like. This is a sirloin or a hip of beef or a top butt. This is where we actually take this sirloin steak from, but we age this piece of beef for 45 days, Mary Beth, and that's part of our Reserve collection. Then once it's aged for 45 days, here's what we do. We take off this cap because it's primarily fat. Then we take off this inner section, which is also fat and sinew. And what do we have left? Well, what we've got left is 3 beautiful center cut sirloins. And I want you to see what you're getting. This is that sirloin steak. There is no fat. There is no gristle. There is no nerve on this. All we're going to do, and I will show you, is we're going to cut the end off, because remember, these are all center cuts. So here's what we do. We cut this off because that's not the center. We then begin to cut your steaks. Now, I want you to look at how beautiful these steaks are. And here's what I think you should really recognize is that center cut, it's got no fat on the top, it's got no fat on the bottom, it's got no fat on the sides. So this beautiful, thick, 6-ounce sirloin steak is Black Angus, small family farms, probably close to where you grew up, Mary Beth. There's
Yeah.
most from the Midwest, right? It's where the best beef is really raised in this country.
Right.
And it's something that we brought really special today for the anniversary. And the other thing that we did is we've loaded lots of new items on QVC.com, so our guests can go there and see lots of new items on the Rastelli side at
Well,
QVC.com.
I got to tell you, it is so tender. It is so juicy. And here's the thing. I will tell you how it comes. I just have to show you. Look at this. I mean, I so want to dig in and eat that so badly. But I will tell you this. Here's how it comes. And it is so great to be able to come like this because they come in a box, but you can take them out of the box. These will fit in the nooks and crannies of your freezer. You know, the best part is when you think they're all gone and then you find one or two of these in a bottom drawer of your freezer. You're like, woohoo, got more sirloins. But anyway, the fact is get the 20 if you can at all afford it, because I will tell you, it's on Easy Pay. You can break it down and pay for it by the month with a credit card order. And if you get the 10, it's $89. And that $89 comes down to 4 payments of $22.25. But listen to this. If you can afford $37.25 per month, get the 20, because you'll be so glad you did. This is a today's special value. These prices come along so rarely. We don't get that many today's special values from Rastelli. And then for him to, on his 5th anniversary, give us the reserve, which we're going to talk about, the center cut sirloins. There's no fat, there's no gristle, nothing like that. I mean, these are the ones to buy. And the other thing, and I want to go back, Ray, did you say what means reserve? Because that was amazing to me. You said less than 4% of the meat
Yes.
that comes to you is considered good enough to be the reserve. Is that right?
That's right, and it's typically reserved just for the high-end steakhouses. So we thought on the 5th anniversary, we wanted to bring something really special, and this 45-day aged center cut black Angus sirloin steak is that special. Now, you mentioned go for the 20. There's another reason to go for the 20, because this is the everything steak. When I say everything, when you have this in your freezer, the multitude of things that you can make out of this is incredible. So look at real quickly. You can become the butcher at home. Take one of these steaks that has no fat and no gristle on it, and look what I've done. Mary Beth, I've just made it into cubes. And what did I do with the cubes? I made a beautiful chili here. I did some kebabs right down below, which are so simple to make. And I was the butcher at home. Let me show you another one that's really easy to do. And that's that Philly steak. Now, I would typically take my knife and I'd put my hand on top and I would do this because I'm a butcher and I can get a nice thin steak, right? So there's a nice thin steak for Philly steak. But let me show you what I want to help you with if you're just a little squeamish about that at home. Take something like a saucer like this, right? And just put that on top of the steak so your hand isn't resting there. And then you can just go right through the steak, just like I did. And what do you have? You have a beautiful steak, thin sliced, that now I can do so much with. I can do my Philly steak, which I did right down here. And of course, I'm a wit guy, so I love having my whiz on my Philly cheesesteak. Or I can make a stuffed steak out of this. I can make a braciole. So,
Wow.
and Mary Beth, all of these recipes you're going to get along with the spices. But also, if you go to QVC.com, I've done a video that shows you how to do all of these things. So when I say it's the everything steak, I really do mean it's the everything steak. And if you've got it in your freezer, it's just your imagination.
Look at all those recipes. It is so true. Think about fajitas. I mean, you can make anything. A lady called in earlier. She was making vegetable beef soup, and she was cutting it into smaller pieces. Here, I've taken my slices that I sliced up earlier, and I'm putting them on a salad, maybe an entree salad. It could be a side salad. But here's the best part, and a lot of people are coming in and placing orders. So jump in ahead of them. I'm going to remind you, here are your options. You can get 10 of these steaks and pay about $22 a month, and you'll get 10. And guess what? You'll be eating those over the next month or two, depending upon how many people you have in the house. And then you're going to wish you had gotten 20 because you get to stay at these today's special value prices. Let me explain something. 10 of these is $89. Let's just ramp that up to 90. So if you had to buy 2 sets of 10, that should be like about $180, right? But for 20, you're doubling your amount, but you're not doubling the price because it's not 180, it's less than 150. That's why you're saving by buying the 20. And then, like I said, it comes like this, so you can fit that into your freezer. These guys just go in all those little pockets and drawers and side things on the door of the freezer, so that here's all that is, and that's one steak, each one individually wrapped. But the key here is that even for 20, if you offer or you buy these with a credit card, you get to pay about $37 a month. Here's the way I look at it. Okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. My husband's birthday is coming up in February as well. Are we going to go out to dinner? No, we're not, because I'm not going out at this point yet. I'm really not. And so if we're not going out to dinner, how am I going to make it special? Am I going to throw the same old chicken fillets on, or, you know, make that same old stroganoff beef that I've always made, or the meatballs, Swedish meatballs? But it's like, no, bring out the steak. Maybe you got the tilapia fish we had earlier. Maybe you bought the greenhead lobsters. I mean, let's take a look at date night table right over here. You make that beautiful center cut sirloin and you put it with a beautiful piece of salmon, or it could be the tilapia. But here's the other thing you could do. This is so cool. You can go to QVC.com and you can type in on the search bar date night, and all the things that we think will be great ideas for date night come up and you can choose them. Here's one last thing. I want to go over to Elise, because Elise, I know you are like super healthy and always doing the best things, but you love these steaks.
I do. Well, actually, I do have a date night story about this. I had a friend, her name is Nicole, and Nicole and Todd were supposed to be getting married this year. They had to postpone their wedding for obvious reasons. And so I thought on their actual, what would have been their wedding night, I would bring them something extra special.
Aww.
Well, this year I brought them some wine, and I brought them 2 Rastelli steaks that were frozen. They were different steaks than these, because we didn't have these, but it was a former Today Special Value. I brought them the 2 steaks, and I also brought them a few frozen David's cookies.
Wow.
And I said, listen, when you want to have a cute little date night, like, go for it. Well, I didn't know if they'd actually take me up on that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they'd actually eat it. Well, they did. And about a week later, I got this phone call from both of them, and they said that was the best steak we've ever had in our lives, and we made it in our very own kitchen.
Oh, I love that story. Well, here, take a look at the meat. This is Black Angus. This is reserve. Less than 4% of what they bring in is good enough to be reserve. It is center cut, so you've got no fat, all meat, no bone. You can eat it all. And this is today's special value. Buy 10 of these for about $22 a month, or double it for about $37 a month. Get them home. They are so yummy. And let me just say, it's all because of their 5th anniversary. You also can have them shipped out right away, or February 15th. And you can get a single shipment or do auto delivery, so you get to stay at this price and stay at this easy pay. Continue to dial in. Ray Rastelli, we think you're the man, honey.
Thank you,
are the
Elise.
man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We've got more great food coming up, and it's all on 4 easy monthly payments. But brand new today, hey, this would be great with these steaks for date night.
This is actually what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. I am so excited. Okay, this comes to us